So guys, today we will discuss about system Verilog arrays, right? So today we will discuss about Q array, right? But before going to that part, we need to know that what is the mean of arrays, right? Arrays. So arrays are it is a collection of similar data elements. Means, let's say I want to store some int data, some bit type data, some byte type data, some string type data. If I want to store such type of data, so I can use arrays, right? It is like a container, like a box, okay? But in a box you can put only one kind of things. Let's say it is a pencil box, so you can put only pencils, not pen, not eraser, not rubber, right? Anything. Okay, so system Verilog array supports some inbuilt methods. So first of all we will discuss about all these methods, right? So first method is array locator methods. So it can work with any unpacked array. Okay, so first method is find. Right, sorry, find index. Okay, first method is find. So okay, so let's see first method, that is find. So it returns all element satisfying the given expression. Okay, so let's say I want to find something. Let's say I want to find the elements greater than 5. So simply I can write, I can use this method find, and I can use a keyword with, as we already used with in system Verilog randomization during inline constant while I am randomizing the packet. Means pkt dot randomize with write read is equal to write, or pkt dot randomize with write read is equal to read, such kind of things. Okay, so I can write find, after that some expression, for giving some expression we need to use with x is greater than 5. So it will return all the element which are greater than 5 in that queue simply. Okay, so okay, first let me write all the methods, after that we'll see some example. So it will be easy to understand what is the mean of the method, what we are writing inside that, right? Okay, next is find index. So return the indexes of all element satisfying the given expression. Next is means, what is the mean of this method is, means let's say I am first method was working on the array elements, and the same method, you can see the name, this is find and this is find index. So the same thing with x is greater than 5, so it will give the index values instead of data. First method was returning the data values, but this method include index as the name, right? So it will return the index values. Okay, next is find first. So return the first element. return the first element satisfying the given expression. Okay, means it will give the only first element. Let's say I am saying x is greater than 3, so whatever the first value is greater than 3, it will return that value. Okay, next one is find first index. So as the name, find first index, so it will work, you can see this method work on the array element, means data, but this method perform the same functionality like find first but on the index, right? Return the index of the first element. First element satisfying the given expression. Okay, next one is find last. So return the last element satisfying the given expression. Next one is find last index. So return the index of the last element satisfying the given expression. Next one is min. So return the element with the minimum value. With the minimum value, or whose we can say whose expression evaluate to a minimum. Okay, next one is max. So it is much similar to that. So it will return the element with a maximum value, or whose expression evaluated to a maximum. Okay, next one is unique. Means return all elements with unique values, or whose expression is unique. Next one is unique index. Return the index of the elements with unique values, or whose expression is unique. So these was some array locator method. There was some another methods also there. like array ordering methods are there, array reduction methods are there. So there are lots of methods. So we will discuss one by one. Okay. Next methods are array ordering methods. Okay. So we can write some line, all methods are void type. Works on unpacked array. Okay. So now let's see the methods. First method is sort. Means sort in ascending order. Next one is R sort. Means sort in descending order. Next one is shuffle. Shuffle the element of array. Means shuffle the element in array means let's say your array have 5 elements, so it will put their order in a random manner, right? Next one is reverse. So reverse the elements of the array, right? So these were some ordering methods, right? So our next methods are array reduction methods. So first one is AND. Return the bitwise AND of all element. Okay. Next one is OR. Return the bitwise OR of all elements. Next one is sum. Return the sum of all elements. Next one is product. Return the product of all elements. Next one is XOR. So return the bitwise XOR of all element. So till now we have discussed about three kind of methods. First one was array locator methods, right? After one we have discussed about array ordering methods. After that we have discussed about array reduction methods, right? So now next methods are array queryifying functions. Array querying queryifying functions. Okay, so first method is $left. return the MSB of the dimension. Okay, next one is $right. Return the LSB of the dimension. After that, $low. Return the minimum of MSB and LSB of the dimension. Next one is $high. Sorry, $low. Okay, $high. So return the maximum of MSB or LSB of the dimension. Dollar increment. Return one if MSB is greater than or equals to LSB, and return 0 if reverse. What is the mean? It will return 1 if MSB is greater than or equal to the LSB, and return 0 if MSB is lesser than the LSB. Okay, that is the mean of reverse actually. Next one is $size. So return the element, return the number of elements in the array. Okay. Next one is dimension. Return total number of dimension in the array. Means it will tell whether it is 1D array, 2D array, 3D array or 4D array. Okay. So these are some specific methods which are applicable over all type and all kind of system Verilog arrays. So these are the common methods. But today, as we are going to discuss about only queues, so now some methods are especially associated with queues. Okay. So now we will discuss about the queue specific methods. Obviously, all these methods what we have discussed till now, they also are valid in queue, but queue also have some additional methods. Okay. So first of all, we need to discuss that what are the queues. So it is an ordered collection of variable size data elements. Okay. And another point regarding that is can grow and shrink automatically. What is the mean of that? Let's say I want to store 10 elements inside a queue. So I need not to worry about the size of the queue, because when we put first element, then the queue size become 1. When we put another second element, then the size will become 2. Similarly, for 10 element, the size will become automatically 10. As I mentioned over here, it can grow and shrink automatically, because we are putting the number of elements inside the queue, so size is growing, right? And when we pull out the elements, then the size will be shrink automatically, so no need to mention the size. Okay, so now we need to see some method associated with that queues only. So I am mentioning here queues methods because they are only applicable with queues. Okay. Okay, so first of all, size. So it will return, it will give number of element in a queue. Let's say I want to check how many elements, how many data elements inside my queue, so I can use that method, that is called size, right? Next one is insert. It is used to insert the data element at a given index. Means at any index I can insert data element. Next one is delete. So delete the item at specified item index. Pop front. Remove and return the first element of the queue. Let's say I want to pull out the first element of the queue, so I can use pop front. Okay, next one is pop back. Remove and return the last element of the queue. Means let's say I want to pull out the last element of the queue, so I can use that method, pop back. Okay, next one is push front. Means if user want to put some element at front of the queue, so he can use that method called push front, right? So insert the insert the given element at front of the queue. Okay, next one is push back. So if you want to insert some element at back of the queue, at bottom of the queue, so you can use that method called pushback. Okay, so guys, we have done with all kind of array methods including queues. But always we remember these methods, as I mentioned over here, queues method, they are only associated with queues. They will not work with another kind of arrays like associative arrays or static arrays or dynamic arrays, right? They are only specific for queues. But rest of all methods up to here, array queryifying functions from array locator method, they all methods are equally applicable for all kind of arrays. Okay. So now, okay, let's take some example. Coding part. So let's write some module, and let's say module name is FIFO, you can say, and you can take any name actually. Okay, let's say FIFO cube, or you can take top, and module. So how we can declare a queue? Simply, first of all, we need to give data type, which kind of element it is going to store. So let's say I need to store int kind of element, so I can use int. After that, the queue name, let's say queue name is my queue, and after that you can give $sign. So that is the specific syntax of the queue, right? So that is called unbounded queue, because it can store n number of data element. Okay, the second point we need to discuss that, let's say I am writing int my queue, and here I am writing $down to 9. So what is the mean of that? It is actually bounded queue, and can store only up to 10 elements. Okay, so it will count dollar as 0 and up to 9. So 0 to 9, total number of element will be 10. So that is the way how we can declare the queues actually, right? So this is called bounded queue, because we are putting some limitations on the growing and shrinking capacity of the queue, and this is called unbounded queue, right? Means it can store any number of element. Okay. Okay. So let's say I am taking the example of bounded queue. Okay. So let's take some bit like bit 7 down to 0 A, bit 7 down to 0 B. After that, initial, begin, end, and here let's say I want to store some elements inside the queue. So what I can do, I can simply use repeat begin, end, and inside repeat I can put some number. Let's say I am writing 12, and here I am writing A is equal to $random, right? And here I am writing my queue dot pushback, right? I am using now I am going to use these methods. Okay, so this one is pushback, sorry, this one is pushback. So I want to pushing back A, right? After that we need to put $display. Okay, so let's write $display. Inside that let's say I want to see my queue index wise, means I want to check on which index what is the data element, right? So what is the format of $display, because many students become confused on that point, how we can print such array with index locations. Okay, so let's try to understand. Let's say first of all I want to check the size actually. We will discuss that thing later. So first of all I want to check the size, let's say. So I can write my queue underscore size is equal to %d, and here I can write my queue dot size, right? I am using the first method, that is size, this one, right? So it will return number of element inside a queue. So this is the way how we can get the size, right? Another thing is, let's say after that I want to print the queue with index wise. So how I can print means, let's say my queue has 10 elements, right? So it have 10 indexes and every index can store one element. So how we can write $display for that? So let me tell you, $display. I can also write that $display inside that. We will see the difference. Okay, let me write inside. So $display. So here I can write, let's say my queue, inside that percentile %d is equal to percentile %d. Here I am writing I, and here I am writing my queue dot, my queue of I. So what is the mean of that? Here I am writing my queue just for my own understanding. It doesn't make any sense. You can write anything, right? Here I am writing percentile %d. So this percentile %d will take value from I. That means this percentile %d is taking value from I. It means it will show the index values, because, and here in this case, because we are using repeat loop, so it will not work with I. Let's say I want to make work with I, so I can use here for loop. Means I can write for int I is equal to 0, because what is the size of that? 10. Okay, so I should be less than or equal to 10 only, and I plus plus. That's it. Now when the size of I is 0, so it will print the value of 0 index, right, is equal to percentile %d. So this percentile %d will take value from my queue of I, right? So here will be I0 index value, means what is the mean of my queue of I is, let's say index value is 0, so it will give the data from that 0 index and it will give put here, right? So that is the way. Okay, again let's say I want to print whole queue in a single line. So how I can print? Simply $display. You can write my queue is equal to percentile %p. Percentile %p is for pegged format, and here you can simply write my queue. That's it. So because it is unpegged in nature, so it will give in pegged format all the values, right? So that is the display method. So how we can write more efficient display, right? So our first display is reflecting the size, second display is reflecting the queue data elements with their respective indexes, right? Okay, now let me do some operations. I can write B is equal to my queue dot pop underscore front, right? Here I am writing $display. I am writing pop front. This pop front is just for my own understanding. It doesn't have to take any means. It is not a method. This is the methods I am writing over here. So it doesn't make any sense because it is just displaying as it is, right? So this is for my own understanding to see that what operation I have performed over here, right? So that's why I have written here pop front, and after that I can write something like B is equal to percentile %d, and here I can write B because it will pop out the first element from means front side first element and put inside the B, and here I am printing the B simply, right? After that again you can give some size, right, and also print the queue. So for your better understanding I am writing like that. right? So we have done with the queue. So that was your front operation. Now next is insert. So for insert, like my queue dot insert, and here I am writing 3,9. So what is the mean of that? We will see while we run this code, right? After that I can print the size of queue. Okay, there's no need to write this, it should be here. Okay, so we can check the size and also print the whole queue after perform the insertion operation. After that, okay, deletion. Let's say I am writing my queue dot delete. Inside that I am passing 3. Okay, after that I am writing the same thing, means dollar display size and queue. That's it, right? So rest of operation you can try by yourself. I have performed with pop front. You can perform rest of operation, they will work in the same manner, right? You can also give some pushback, you can also give some push front, anything. Okay, so now let me run this code. It is working. So guys, you can see my first display statement, my queue size, right? So first size was 1, right? And second display statement was index wise printing of the queue. So it is showing that my queue of 0, so 0 is the index, and on 0 index it has 36, right? Again, when the loop is running second time, the size is 2, and on first index it has element 123, like that. And you can see on 9th index it has element 13, right? So you can see some warning, queue's operation would not exceed max right index of 9. So why it is showing like that? Because we have given the value, means we have restrict the index from 0 to 9, right? And here I have written lesser than and equal to, so we should remove equals to and run this again. So it will remove this warning actually, because from 0 to 10 it is running 11 time, but our queue depth is only 10, that's why it is giving warning, right? So guys, now you can see this is our 0th index and this is the 9th index. It has 13 element and warning is removed, right? So you can see the elements 36, 129, 9, 99, 13, 141, 101, 118 and 1, right? And 13. Now I have written a second display statement over here for your better understanding. As I told, we can also print the queue in a single line in a packed format. So you can see all the elements 36, 129, 9, 99, 13, 141, 101, 181, 1 and 13, like that, same in a single line. Okay, so after that we have performed pop front operation. So I have written b is equal to my queue dot pop front. So what was the first element inside the queue? You can see 36. Okay, so it is giving b is equal to 36, right? And because we have removed the one element, so what become the size is 9. Previously the size was 10, right? After that I am printing, because I have removed one element 36, I am checking the size is 9. Okay, and after that you can count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? And after that also I am printing the queue after removing 36. So you can see here, you can see 36 was their first element. Now 120 become the first element, this one 129 9, like that, right? Okay, after that I have written that insertion operation. So my queue dot insert 3 comma 9. So what is the mean of that, right? So you can count actually, that was 36. After that we have print, okay, here. So after insertion one more element. Now previously size was 9, you can see here size was 9, now here become 10, and it, you can see the index, that was 0, that was 1, that was 2, that was 3, right? 0 1 2 3, here it have insert 9, while here it was 13. So 13 becomes on next location. Okay, so it is counting from 0 on third index. I have written 3 comma 9. So on third index it has insert 9. Okay, and size increased by 1 because previously 9 element was there, now it becomes 10. Okay, next was my queue dot delete 3. So what is the mean of that? I am deleting the 3. That means I am talking about the third element. So here you can see again after deletion of one element size again become 9, and you can see 129 here, 9 is here, 99 is here, but the third element what we have inserted 9, that is removed actually. Okay, so it is replaced by 13. After that 141 101 18 1 and 13, that is 13, right? So guys, you can practice rest of the methods like this only. Okay, means you can check for pop back, you can check for pop front, like that. So you can practice rest of the methods, right? Okay, so let's come to the next example. Let's say module top and module. Now we will see the methods, array locator methods. So we will make example with these methods. Okay, so let's take some variable. Let's say bit 3 down to 0, data, and declare it as a queue. Next is bit 3 down to 0, let's say data 1. Next one is, let's say data 2, and one is data 3. Let's declare it as it. Okay, now initial, begin, end. So guys, first of all we need to initialize the array, right? So I am writing for each data of I, begin, end. Now we need to understand the things. Actually for each is for each will not work with queues, because initially we don't know the size of the queue, right? Size of the queue, even if we declare bounded queue then also for each will not work, right? In previous example you can see we have taken for loop. So basically we used for each to initialize the array, but if my array is q type then for each will not work, because you can see guys, inside that we didn't give any number of iteration, how many times this loop will run, because it will automatically decide the number of times as per the requirement, as per the depth of the array. But inside q depth is unknown, right? And even if I write like this dollar down to 9 means 10 depth, then also for each will not work, right? So always remember, for each loop will not work with the queues, right? Okay. So we can use some alternating methods. We can use for int I is equal to 0, I is let's say 10 variable less than 10 I plus plus begin end. So inside that simply I can write data of I is equal to $random, means on the index, means when the index value is 0, index value is 1, so at every index it will store some random data, right? After that, print mechanism. Let's say I want to print my array with index wise, so simply data of percentile 0d is equal to percentile 0d I and data of I. That's it. Okay. After that, just print into packed format. Data is equal to percentile p data, right? After that, can write data underscore 1 is equal to data dot find x. You no need to declare x, it will take automatically with x is greater than 5. What is with? As we already used with inline constraint during randomization, right? Let's say I am randomizing a packet handle name is pkt, right? So inside generator, what thing I have to mention? Pkt dot randomize. That is the simple way. But let's say I have to generate read type packet and I have to generate write type packet. So what can I do? Simply I can write pkt dot randomize with write read is equal to write, pkt dot randomize with write read is equal to read, right? So that is the means the same with this here. Okay. After that, dollar display data with greater than 5 is equal to percentile d data underscore 1, right? After that, data underscore 2 data underscore 2 is equal to data dot find index x with x is greater than 5, and after that dollar display data 2, or you can write data index with GT means greater than 5 is equal to percentile P. It should be percentile P. Data 2. So what we have done inside that, data 2 is equal to data dot find index x. So what is the difference between this function and this function is, it will give the value which is greater than 5 and it will give the index which hold the value which is greater than 5, simply, right? Next is, let's say data underscore 3 is equal to data dot find first x with x is greater than 5. Dollar display first data greater than 5 is equal to percentile P. Data underscore 3. Simply find last. So what is the mean of find first data? Means let's say there are 10 data available. So from MSB side it will check the data and will return which the first data is greater than 5, and simply it will check from the LSB side or from the right side or from the bottom side, right? And it will return the last data which is greater than 5. Okay. Okay, next one is data underscore 2 is equal to data dot find, let's say last index x with x is greater than 5. So it will return, so what is the difference between this and this? It will return the last value which is greater than 5, and this it will return the index which holds the value which is greater than 5, right? So last index GT5 is equal to percentile P data 2. Data underscore 1 is equal to, let's say data dot min. Dollar display minimum data is equal to percentile P and data underscore 1. So what it will do, let's say 10 data are available inside a queue, so it will give the minimum data, minimum value data, right? What will be the minimum values available inside the array, it will return that. Okay. Next one is data dot max. Simply it will return the maximum value. Okay. After that data 1 is equal to data dot unique. Dollar display can write unique data is equal to percentile P data underscore 1. So let's say 10 elements are there, some elements are multiple times, right? Some data are repeated, so it will give the unique value only, right? Okay, so next one is data dot unique index. So simply it will return the index value of unique data. right? So guys, I hope we have done with all these methods. So now time to execute this piece of code. Okay, so it is giving the value of queues in unpacked format as well as packed format. So first operation was data with greater than 5, right? So what is greater than 5? 9, 13, 13 and 13. So you can see after the data index with greater than 5. So data is here, you can find the index of 9, 0, 1, 2, right? After that 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So it is working fine. Next one is first data with greater than 5. So you can check from this side, 9 is there, the first data which is greater than 5, right? Because 4 is lesser than 5 as well as 1 is lesser than 5, that's why it is giving 9. Here next operation was last data which is greater than 5. So it will check from MSB side or right side, sorry, LSB side or right side. So 13 is the last data which is greater than 5, right? Last index of greater than 5 means whatever the last data greater than 5, it will take the index. So you can find the index of 13, you can count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why it is returning as 9. Okay. After that minimum data, so you can pick the minimum value. So minimum is 1, right? So it is returning 1. After that it is saying maximum data. So 13 is the greatest element. So it is giving 13, right? After that unique data, so you can see guys, inside that queue 13 is coming thrice and 1 is coming twice, so it will pick only unique values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 13, right? After that unique data indexes, so it will pick the indexes of this unique data. You can check for the index of 1, that is 0, 1, 1. After that the index of 2, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 will be there, so 7 is here, right? So likewise you can check that. Okay. Now coming to the next point is, let me check the methods first. We have done with these array locator methods. Now we will do for array ordering methods, right? Okay. So module top and module, inside that bit 3 down to 0 data, or you can write okay my queue. Initial, begin, end for begin end, int I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. Inside that my queue of I, that is equal to I plus 1, right? After that dollar display my queue is equal to percentile p my queue. After that we can perform some operations like my queue dot shuffle dollar display shuffle is equal to percentile p, and here you can write my queue, right? Okay, next operation is, let's say, short. next operation is R short. Okay, next operation is, let's say, shuffle again. Let's do shuffle again, and after that reverse. That's it. So guys, what we are doing inside that code, simply we have run a loop between 0 to 9, from 0 to 9, and after that we have written my q of I is equal to I plus 1. So what is the mean of that? We are, this I inside the square bracket, this I is denoting the index value. So the index 0 of my q will be 0 plus 1, that will store 1. On index 1 of my q, 1 plus 1, that will be 2, like that. Okay, after that I am shuffling the element. What is the mean of shuffling? Elements will interchange their positions. Okay, after that shorting, it will give the index value in ascending orders. Reverse shorting, R short for stand for reverse shorting, right? It will give the value in descending orders. After that again shuffling, means element will interchange their positions, and after that reverse. So whatever we get after the shuffling, it will reverse the position of the whole array element. Let's run this code. It is some problem near I. Okay, test bench line number 4. Let me check for the bug. Okay, we forget to put semicolon. Run this code again. Meanwhile, I need to improve. Okay, now you can see guys, my q is printing here 1 2 3 4, means from 1 to 10, right? After that shuffling operation, all the elements have interchanged their position. You can see 2 6 10 9 3 8 7 5 1 4, right? After that reverse shorting, so it will give elements in ascending orders. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. After that reverse short, so it will give element in descending order. So 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Very simple methods are available, right? After that shuffle, so all element will interchange their position again, and after that I am performing reverse operation. So you can see the last value will become first value, and second last become second from the first side or from the MSB side. Simply first value become last. So all the array element becomes in reverse order. Okay, so these are the very flexible methods associated with any kind of arrays, right? Okay, now what were the next one? Methods are, array reduction methods, means and, or, sum, and product. We'll see that. So module top and module bit 3 down to 0, data dollar initial begin end for begin end, int I is equal to 0, I is less than 4, and I increment. After that data of I is equal to I plus 1, simply as we have done in previous code, and after that dollar display data is equal to percentile p data. That's it. After that dollar display here let's say sum is equal to percentile p sum. After sum is, let's say, OR operation is there. after or let's say product is there, right? And last one is XOR operation. So what is the difference? It will give arithmetic sum, it will give bitwise OR, it will give arithmetic product, and it will give bitwise XOR. Okay, let's run this code. There are some issues near OR and XOR. What is the issue? Okay. I have made the silly mistake. So guys, you can see the output. It is the Q 1 2 3 4. It has 4 element. Okay, so sum is 10. So just do the arithmetic sum. 4 plus 3 7 plus 2 9 plus 1 10, right? OR operation. So just convert 1 2 3 and 4 into binary format and just perform the bitwise OR operation. You will get 7, right? After that, product is the arithmetic operation, but it should be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, so it should be 24, but it is giving 8. There is some issue. Okay, what is the issue? Let me tell you. It is my calculator, right? So from my point of view, the output should be 24, the product should be 24, right? So let me write the 24 in decimal and let me convert into the binary. So when we convert into the binary, so total number of bit required is 0 1 2 3 4, 5 bit, means 4 down to 0, and here I am using 3 down to 0. So what happens? 1 bit is less, so it truncates the value of this 1 and it is giving 1 2 4 8. That's why it is giving only 8, right? So to improve that function, what we can do, we can increase the width and we can run this code again. Right, now you are getting 24, 4 into 3 into 21, right? After that, XOR operation is 4. So simply you can convert 1 2 3 and 4 in their binary format, and you can perform bitwise XOR operation. Definitely you will get 4 only. Okay. Next method is array querifying functions. Okay, so module top and module, inside that bit 3 down to 0, data Q dollar initial begin end for begin end, int I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. That's it. Data Q of I is equal to I plus 1 simply. Dollar display data Q is equal to percentile P data Q dollar display dollar left is equal to percentile d dollar left of data q. Next one is dollar right. Next one is dollar low. Next one is we have done with dollar left, right, low, after that high. After high is increment. After increment is dimension. It is actually dimensions, no dimension. Okay, we have done with that coding part. So this is our queue holding from 1 to 10 element. Dollar left, so it is behaving like 0 up to 9. So dollar left is 0, dollar right is 9. Okay, this is it is returning the dimensions. After that, dollar low means lowest dimension. So 0 is the lowest dimension and high dimension is 9, right? After that, increment. Why? Because dollar left is less than dollar right, or MSB is less than LSB. That's why it is returning -1, else it will return +1. Okay, after that, dimension. So how many total number of dimension? 2 dimension. Okay, 0 and 9. That why it is returning 2. Okay, so guys, we have done with Q type array, and I already told you that Q have some specific method which are only applicable or only works with Q. These are the methods: size, insert, delete, pop back, pop front, push back, push front, right? And rest of methods are global, they will work with every array. So guys, I have some assignment for you. Simply you have to write, okay, let me write over here. Okay, write a code for Q which have one control signal, name is enable. When En is high, the Q should work as FIFO. When enable is low, then Q should work as LIFO. Okay, so guys, this is a very simple assignment for your understanding, and also please do that assignment. And if you if you get any doubt, any kind of thing, so simply you can comment inside the comment box, or also I will drop my WhatsApp number inside the description box. So if you have any doubt, you can also ping me over there. And also guys, we are providing front-end verification training with Job Assurance, and the training will include basic of digital electronics, complete Verilog, complete system ILO, complete UVM with protocol related industrial level project, right? So guys, if you also want to join that training program, so you can ping me on WhatsApp. Okay, thank you for your watching.